Welcome to Buy It, Fix It, Sell It, the show where we buy a bike, fix it up and sell it on, and hopefully make a profit in the process. I'm the host, I'm responsible for buying and selling the bike.
And I'm the mechanic. I'm responsible for the test rides, repairs and keeping it within budget.
So in this episode, we're looking for a touring bike on a budget that's about £2,000.
Which isn't a lot to play with. So that means it's going to have to be something that's older, something that's high mileage, or something that needs a bit of work.
So I'm going to get on the computer, see what I can find.
And I'll make another brew.
So we've got the bike, we got it at a really good price. We're going to do a history of the bike and the company, and then we'll get it back to the shop and see what Tim thinks of it. BMW's motorcycle history started in 1921, where they were producing engines for other companies. It wasn't until 1923 that BMW decided to make their own bike, the R32, under the brand BMW Motorrad. And due to things like BMW's motorcycle speed records and World War II, they were met with varying success. And it wasn't until the Japanese motorcycle market boomed that BMW decided they really needed to make a change. The change came with the BMW R75-5, which led the way for BMW's following touring bikes, like this one, the R850R.
Well, that's a good start. You alright pushing that ball? Circuit brakes binding on, is it?
Yeah.
Could have got a prettier bike. How are we going to sell that? Come on.
We'll still make a profit.
Yeah?
I guess.
1,200.
Lower.
A grand.
Lower.
800?
Lower.
Yeah? 6.
A little bit higher. 650.
Right. Alright. Yeah. Right, so it's a profit then, we're going to make something on it. So we've got some bits, that's not a good sign. We've got binding brakes, that's not a good sign. Does it run?
There's a slight issue somewhere on the tank.
You're not answering my question. Does it run?
Enjoy.
Well, do a safety check, make a brew. So I've done a safety check and there is a few things. The rear brake's binding quite a bit, the front brake's binding a little bit, so both of them need cleaning up, and hopefully they don't need rebuilding, they just need cleaning up and they'll free up. The front disc, there's a lot of play in there, and the front mass cylinder was all disconnected. I'm guessing that's because the front brake was binding. So fingers crossed that sorts all that out. We'll put some new disc and pads on while we're at it. One of the biggest things, there's a hole in the tank. As soon as you turn the ignition on and prime the fuel pump, it starts spraying fuel out. So that will need fixing, and then the tank will need painting as well, which isn't too bad because it's got some marks and imperfections on it anyway. So that will give it a nice clean look. There is other small things like the throttle sticking, it needs a service, it needs a battery and stuff like that. So we might as well address all that lot while we're at it. So I'll get the parts ordered and then we'll crack on. So the parts have arrived and we're finally ready to make a start. Now I'm going to start with the brakes first. The reason being, it's hard work to manoeuvre. Bringing it in and out the shop makes it very difficult because the back brake's binding on like crazy and the front brake's also binding on. So for the back brake, I'm going to clean on the pistons, see if I can free the brake up and put some fresh fluid through. For the front, I've got some new discs because they're warped and there's a lot of play in them. New pads, connect it all back up because it's all disconnected, and put some fresh fluid through, and hopefully we'll have some good brakes. So we'll start from there. So now we've got the brakes sorted, time to move on to the petrol tank, the air filter and the spark plugs. So we took the petrol tank apart and found that it was absolutely corroded to death on the inside. It's too far gone, we can't use it. So we went on Tinterweb and skip forward 3 weeks, our petrol tank's turned up. We got it from Germany, so there was loads of made up fees, handling fees and shipping fee and tax and everything, but it's cost us a bit, but it's got here. Now, the good thing is we've killed 2 birds with 1 stone. We don't need to weld it anymore and we don't need to paint it anymore because the paint job on this is in really good condition. And inside it's pristine, there's no rust anywhere. So, bonus. But, them nasty Punisher stickers have got to go. Got some new ones to go on. So we'll stick them on, plumb the tank up and see if we've got a running bike. So last week we fired the bike up and run it, and straight away I noticed it was only running on one cylinder. The left cylinder running, right cylinder wasn't. First thing I did was check spark, and there's a really good spark. While we were there we checked compression, and that was fine too. From there I checked the fuel pressure, and there was plenty of pressure there. The fuel pump is working great. So the only thing really that it could be is the injector. Now we externally tested the injector and it was doing nothing. I then tested it, plumbed up to the bike, and there was nothing injecting out. Just to be confident it's 100% that, I swapped the injectors over, and sure enough it was then running on the right cylinder and not on the left, so we knew it was that. So I've ordered a new injector, time to fit it and see if that cures the problem, which it will. So that's done the job nicely. It's now running both cylinders. So what we'll do, we'll top the fuel up, put some fuel treatment in, run it up to temperature, replace the oil and oil filter, then the gearbox oil, then the shaft oil, and we'll finally be done. Whoa, tight.
We have got a fault on one camera. Got some tape there.
Now the bike's done, time to hand it over to Paul to valet it. Okay, so it's now done, taxed, insured and MOT'd. All I need to do now is test ride it, then put it up for sale.
So, I've sold the bike. Didn't quite get what I wanted for it. We only got £2,000. But given that I bought it for $650, hopefully we've managed to stay within budget. He's managed to stay within budget.
Well, kind of. So the MOT was £29. The battery was 85 quid. The front discs were 220 quid. The front pads were 50 quid. The spark plugs were 28. The air filter was 8. The fuel filter was £15. The oil filter was £6. The oil was 50. The injector was 65 quid. The shaft and gearbox oil was 16. The banjo bolt and washers were £3. Brake fluid was £3. The fuel treatment was £5. The fuel was 20 quid. The front disc bolts were £7. And the biggest hit was the petrol tank. We didn't anticipate that. That was £400. The tank stickers were £8. The listing fees were £14, which makes £1,682 in total. And if you include my labour, which is about 300 quid, that would be 1,982, bringing us a profit of
18 quid.
Yes.
Awesome.
Certainly not the best, but that's also including my labour cost as well.
Hey,
if you didn't,
it's profit,
if you don't
innit?
include that, we're making over 300 quid, which isn't too bad really, considering.
It could have been close to 700 if we had the petrol tank
yeah.
didn't go.
Yeah, I think the petrol tank was the biggest thing, weren't it? But
Yeah.
if it wasn't for that, yeah, we would have been quids in. But, you know, end of the day, we made profit and we've enjoyed it. So, especially if you're doing it for a hobby, it's even better. You're making 300 odd quid for a hobby, which is brilliant.
Yeah, I suppose. Stay tuned for episode 3 because I've already got leads on a pretty good deal, which you'll see if you watch that one.
So thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe and hit the bell icon for notifications. And if you want to support us further, become a YouTube member. Cheers. Higher mileage or older or something that needs a bit of work.
In this episode, we're looking for
We're looking for a touring bike and a budget's about £2,000.
we're looking for a touring bike and our budget's about £2,000.
Which means it's after in high mileage or something that's older.
Yeah. So I'm gonna have to just get looking on computer and see if we can find anything.
Why'd you say it like that?
Whoa. What? Say it like what? In this episode, we're looking for a touring bike, and our budget is about £2,000. This is your line. In this episode, I'm gonna have to try and deal with him being an absolute buffoon. Profit in the process. I'm the host. I'm Paul.
I'm responsible for.
Yes, I am responsible for messing up.
Was that break back? Yeah.